what do you call it? Being a cuck? I had a wrong impression. I thought you like watched.
No, yeah, well, because that's a meme. Because if you're like nowadays, there's no such thing as like an open or poly, whatever the people just all like call it all cuckoldry.
Because I couldn't even get hard because he kept looking at me.
Was this the first time you guys are in front of each other?
Yeah, it was like it's weird because you're looking at it. You're looking.
It feels like you're looking at yourself.
The weird. And the guy's freaking me out. He's walking around stroking it, right?
Every single issue that comes out today is political. If a boat crashes into a bridge, it's because some Mossad agent did it to distract from Israel.
Right,
or there's a fire in Hawaii in
right.
the hottest place in the it's because like Jewish space lasers are trying to drive up property costs. Like nothing can happen anymore without it being some crazy conspiracy.
Yeah, personally, I've had like people close to me that was like damaged by that vaccine.
Do you know anybody that died of COVID?
Family members on my wife's side.
How many?
3.
Jesus.
We came across you.
Dating Nick Fuentes. He did some
Yeah.
Fresh and Fit. The main reason why we want you here is because majority of people that came on our podcast has been conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put myself in, I'm just having conservatives come on. I want to actually hear other people's perspectives.
Sure.
Right.
So don't want to put myself in isolate myself like that.
Yeah, so we want to get your worldview, so we're going to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
What should we start with first? Relationships.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Relationships. Now, how many times have you been married?
Twice?
Twice.
Me too.
All right, good job.
Yeah.
Are you on your second one now? Or are you looking for your third?
No. This one's working.
That's
The
good.
first one, I think I was just too young.
Okay.
I got married, I was 19, I was in the Marine Corps. And she got pregnant, and I was just trying to do the right thing. So,
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So.
My first one was, I'm not like a big marriage guy. The first one was because of, it's a long story, but no, it's not that long. But if you know what the FAFSA is for financial aid for college and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go to fill out the college student aid application and you're like, oh, are you an independent? Of course I am. Because you're thinking like your taxes, but the way that the college looks at you to be an independent or not, there's a whole other list of qualifications. So I've been away from my parents for 2 years, and then I realized that their gross income is going to determine my financial aid, even though I don't get any support for them. So you either join the military, have a kid, kill your parents, get married, and of all the options. So me and my girlfriend in high school, we got married for financial aid. It worked for financial aid, and And then my most recent wife, we got she was Swedish and I was American, so obviously I want to live with my fucking girlfriend. So the only way for her to live in the U.S. is to get a green card to get married. So
Yeah. My wife is an immigrant from Mexico City.
okay.
Yeah, she when Trump became president, she started freaking out. She thought she was going to get deported.
Yeah.
So
My wife too. My wife's from Jalisco.
But the thing is, a lot of people don't understand, like politics and the TV, they scare a lot of immigrants, a lot of people of color. So she was actually a legal resident being in the country, but she went to CNN, I'm not sure where, MSNBC, but she actually thought that Trump was going to come to our door and deport her. So she became
I've heard,
a citizen.
people have like, you said she was a lawful person, so she had the green card?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people say shit like that. It's like, if we're deporting the green card people, they would have had to have gotten through, that's like 20, 30, 40 million people.
Yeah.
How many millions of people are they going to start deporting in the United States? Like, there's no way that's going to happen.
Yeah. A lot of people get in relationships for a lot of different reasons. But your relationships have kind of been, what's the word I'm looking for?
Extraordinary?
No, unconviction.
Sure, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Now, people call this, what do you call it? Being a cuck?
Yeah, that's the
cuck
one.
advocate.
Yeah.
It's like what Adam 22 is kind of doing, right?
Yeah, for a while. I don't know.
Yeah. But so I wanted to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
We have a little experience in this, not actually. Well, we'll get to that.
Cuckoldry or?
I'll get to that.
Okay. Jesus. Okay.
So what is it about? Do you like? It's a tough question. I've never.
Explain to us.
No, shut up. Put my ass to question. So what about? So you like watching other men have sex with your girl or your wife?
No, not really. No.
No.
Explain to us. Explain to us.
So before the red pill shit, these were just called open relationships. But then after like the red pill stuff, people became obsessed. I call it cuck hunting, where people will like look for cuckoldry like everywhere. Like if your girlfriend like the guy, like 5 months before you started dating her, people call you like a cuck. It's like an insane obsession.
Oh, okay.
But the I mean, like I'd say I have a decently high sex drive. I like to fuck around. Obviously, I've got a lot of access being a YouTuber guy. And if I date
A lot of
somebody,
access.
a lot of access, yeah.
People
Yeah.
sliding in your DMs.
Something, yeah, of course, you guys, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
But so like if I want to sleep around, I imagine if I'm going to date somebody, they're probably going to be sleeping around too, and yeah, because I don't think I could ever do. I know that in some of the communities, people advocate for these like one-sided, open-ended relationships, which just seems. I don't believe any of those actually work. I don't think they're even real. I think the girls are always fucking around. The guys are just naive.
Right.
So
I thought I was looking at it from the wrong perspective. I had a wrong impression. I thought you like watched your.
No, yeah, well,
Yeah.
because that's a meme. Because if you're like nowadays,
Yeah.
there's no such thing as like an open or poly, whatever the people just all like call it all cuckoldry. So it's like,
Right,
whatever.
right,
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so-
we had some experience in that when I was in Marine Corps.
Dog, this guy, like,
Yeah.
What's that? Well, I got to hear now. What's the experience?
I'll tell you. So I was a horny bastard when I was like 20, right? So I lived in Orange County, California.
Okay.
And it was the Orange County Register was the paper. And it had an adult classified section in the paper.
Yeah.
Oh no.
There's
And
no
this-
cell phones back then.
But it's no cell phones or anything like that. So keep that in mind. It's like all we had was pagers, right?
Yeah.
So I created an online account. Well, it's not even online. The internet wasn't even big yet. You would call this phone number, set up an account. I forgot how you pay for it. You would pay it over the phone or whatever. And they give you minutes. So you would go on this thing, right? So my name's Keith Hodge. I'm 6'2", black male. I'm in shape. I got green eyes and shit. you put your profile out, and then people hear your profile, and then they respond if they're interested. 3-4 days went by. I wasn't getting no love. I was like, man, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, racist, huh?
Yeah, racist people. They're not Negroes. But anyway, finally, I get a message. I'm like, I got one message. So I push the pound to hear the message. It's a guy. I'm like, oh, a homosexual, right? But it wasn't even that.
Yeah.
It was just a guy who was like watching people have sex with his wife.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Looking for that big black bull. Yeah, that BBC. That's what he's looking for. Yeah,
Right.
it runs along those communities a lot. Yeah.
yeah. So I said, you know what? This sounds kind of interesting. I said, but I'm not, man, this dude might have to be Jeffrey Dahmer or some shit. So I said, I got a twin brother. Can I bring him along? He said, the more the merrier.
So B keeps going.
Shut up. I'm telling the story. So I pick up Kevin. We get there. There's a white couple. They're in like the 50s. And big house. He's a lawyer.
Very fluent, man.
Yeah, and she's his secretary, and they work together. And we're talking. And I see a picture of 2 twin kids. I'm like, oh, you have twins. I was like, where are they? Oh, they're at grandma's house tonight. You ain't got to worry about them. But long story short, we had sex with his wife, and he watched.
Yeah.
It was crazy because I couldn't even get hard because he kept looking at me.
Was this the first time you guys are in front of each other?
Yeah, it was like, it's weird because you're looking at you're looking
It
at
feels
yourself.
like you looking at yourself. The worst.
And the guy's freaking me out. He's walking around stroking it, right?
And this dude, he's about this tall.
Yeah.
Short, fat, bald white guy. And
Yeah.
his mushroom tip is as wide as this.
No, it wasn't that big. It was like that bottle right there.
Well,
It was like this.
That's still pretty wide.
yeah.
That's huge.
Who you gonna fuck with that?
And he had Frankenstein stitches on the side of it. Like he had some kind of surgery. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And when I went up
He
in
was cock gazing, huh?
well, you couldn't help because I was doing it. Then he just busted in the room. This fat potbelly Ron Jeremy looking dude.
You know, he's supposed to be watching you, right? Not the other way around. For
Yeah, but he wasn't. He was
We
just
was freaking out because he's watching us. Watch.
the girl, one girl, 3 guys in a room. The girl's getting the least attention, huh? You guys are all.
I was
She's just along for the ride. Yeah. Okay.
He was freaking me out. He had a Frankencock. It's the biggest cock I ever saw in my life. I thought I was hung. This dude had a horse cock. But anyway, I thought though
he probably had some enhancements though.
yeah. But
The stitches are for augmented.
yeah. But that's what I was thinking because I had seen online people saying you're a cuck, but you're not a cuck. You
Just open relationship.
Yeah.
yeah. So, do you think that's what hurt your marriages? Or do you think they were really love marriages? You just did it for like.
I love the people, but I'm not like a marriage guy. I'll do it if I need to. Like if I date somebody and they're from like another country, it's like, well, we have to get married, otherwise we can't live together.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna do a fucking long distance relationship. But like,
Right.
if there were 2 people, I think the only time I'd ever like get married, like if I needed to, would
Mhm.
probably be like if there was a kid involved, just because of the financial stuff and the paperwork and the
Mhm.
because it's weird otherwise. Because there's like you're gonna live with a woman and pay child support to her while you're like taking your kid to school and custody. It'd be weird, yeah. So,
Mhm.
but otherwise, yeah, I'm not like a big.
Yeah, you
marriage.
don't like traditional marriage because you think that that social contract is more in favor of the female over the.
Fuck no.
No.
Jesus Christ, no, absolutely not. I just sorry, I fought against a lot of people that say that. No, it's not even about that. I just my life is just so unconventional. I'm
Mhm.
sure even for you guys, right? Like just the crazy online shit, the putting out content, people saying things about you, people, I don't know, they go after like family members or whatever if you start
Yeah, they
fighting
go
with
after
people.
my daughter and stuff.
Yeah, it's wild. So whatever relationships I'm in, they're probably going to look like pretty unconventional because my whole life is like very unconventional.
Oh.
I work like 14 hours a day, travel around the world or the United States. Yeah, everything's just really weird. So, yeah.
Okay, so you're straight. You're a straight guy.
I'm like bisexual-ish.
Bisexual.
Bisexual-ish. I don't think I'd ever date a guy, but I'll hook up with him.
What the?
I don't want to date a dude. It's fucking gay. What the fuck?
What?
Think I'm gonna fucking cuddle with a homie after sucking his dick? How fucking nasty would that be? Holy shit.
Well, when I think of bisexual, I think of gay.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah. It's
Like,
Then I'm either lying
that's
about the
like-
gay side or I'm lying about the straight
Yeah.
side. So I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out one day.
So you don't consider yourself gay? You're bisexual.
Yeah, like gay light.
That's gay splaining.
Yeah, because look, straight people have sex with straight people, right?
Yeah.
And then you have gay people, they'll fuck anything.
What you do?
That's why I say when I look at
Oh,
bisexual.
so it's like gay, like bisexual? Your version of bisexual, or?
Yeah, when I think of bisexual, I just think of gay because gay people have sex with both. It's just gay.
they fuck anything.
Yeah.
What
they-
it-
yeah.
Like if
What
like
does the homo and homosexual mean? Doesn't that just mean one, like, you just fuck one thing?
I don't know. Well, homosexual.
Listen, if that's what gay is to you, then I'm gay. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yes,
if I
yes,
came
okay.
home,
Okay.
like if my wife came home and I was down sucking a dude's cock, she would say I'm gay.
Yeah.
Even though
Would you say you're gay or that's gay?
I'm gay.
You are gay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think how most people look
I
at it.
came across a couple online. This dude is dating a trans woman, and he said he sucks her off. She has a
Okay.
cute little penis that looks like a clitoris.
Okay.
He
So the
doesn't-
opposite of the Franken cock. Okay.
Yeah, but he doesn't consider himself gay.
Okay.
I was like, that's gay.
Why are you gay?
Do you see it differently or?
I mean, I guess you could. I don't know. I don't think about the. I guess I'm more interested in the underlying content than the label for it. I don't really care as much. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't pay too much of what straight gay. You don't really care.
No, I don't really think too much about it now.
Yeah. So you ever think about marrying a guy since the women ain't working out?
It's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
It would be easier, I think, because guys are just better in every way. That's why the red pill guys say don't live with your girlfriend, don't live with your wife. Just fucking move in with your bros who enable you to be better and stronger. And yeah.
So
Dude,
you slept with a guy before?
Hooked up with a guy before, yeah.
Hooked up? What do you mean? Like just sucking cock? Or-
Basically, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, slobbing on some. Yeah, we didn't have to break out the Vaseline you guys had earlier. So nothing like that, thankfully.
No, hey. Destiny's talking about this. Before the show started, I had this Vaseline right here because I can't find my chapstick. Okay. Yeah. What was I gonna go into?
Yeah. This whole cocksucking just. I didn't know you were
When did you
bisexual.
when did you determine when did you first realize you was attracted to men?
I try. I don't know. I think it was like late 20s. I was like, oh, why not try it?
Really?
Sure, why not? You only live one life, you know.
Dude, you very open minded.
Whatever, dude. I'll try
Fuck
anything
it.
once.
Wake up! I'm gonna suck a cock today. I've like, I don't know. I've
Like
never.
I knew I was attracted to girls like
Yeah.
like very very early age. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty normal. I felt the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were the same way.
Yeah. Everybody, it's the last week to enter the win our Jeep Rubicon and $10,000 in cold hard white American cash. And right now, if you enter today, this whole week, anything you buy on the site get you 10 times the interest.
Not only that, you also entered to win a Ram Power Wagon.
Yeah.
Plus a Pioneer camper and another $10,000 in cold hard white American cash. That's 2 vehicles and a camper.
And 20,000 in cash. Go to HodgeTwins.com to get entered today.
Yeah.
No purchase necessary. Hardware prohibited. See official rules for details.
And then what do you think caused the bisexual stuff to come on?
Yeah.
Do you think it's like bad experiences with women or
No, I think it's
Porn
just
or
trying. I'm just curious.
do you watch porn?
I do indeed watch porn. Yeah.
You think that may have led to it? Because porn, man, that'd take you down some damn dark rabbit holes.
We speak from experience.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know. I've heard people talk about that, but I've never had that. Like, if you were to go through, like, when I go to jerk off to porn, I'm looking at, like, blowjobs or people f***ing. I've never gone down, like, the crazy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, give it time.
Give it time. I mean, I'm 35. I feel like if it was going to happen, it would have happened by this point.
No, it's going to hit you when you least expect it.
Okay, yeah.
I went down some.
Because, see, porn, that shit puts a tumor in your brain, and then it metastasizes and goes to your dick. And it fucking, like, man, I remember I came across the scene of a chick doing a dog. I was like, oh, this is hot. I was like, wait a minute. What the fuck is going on?
Was this before or after you finished?
I stopped myself.
I feel like you could say the same for like any hobby. Like I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
you can jerk off to porn responsibly,
Yeah.
or you can go crazy with it. But I think that's true of like anything, right? Like
Yeah.
like you look at a video game, you can play a video game for an hour or
Right.
whatever, or you've got people who lose their entire fucking lives to games, like sitting up all day.
Yeah.
You can smoke some weed every now and then to relax or
Yeah.
hang out with friends, or you can be a guy that has to smoke every single fucking day because of anxiety or just sleep or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Hobbies are good servants but bad masters, and too many people let their hobbies run their lives or whatever they get obsessed with. So.
Mhm.
That's true. You got to take accountability and be responsible for your own actions.
Yeah,
Too
but-
much porn can.
Yeah. You know what saved me?
What?
Christ.
Yeah.
He put his hands on me. I looked up, then I saw his blonde hair, blue eyes looking at me. He said, "Thou shalt not stroke of thy dick of any more." I was free.
Jesus.
Blue-eyed Jesus.
Yeah, his blonde blue eyes.
Moses left that commandment up on the mountain. That was the 11th one. God wasn't done inscribing yet.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, porn, I had to give that up.
Yeah.
I think if you could do without it, it's probably good. But I think that's almost true of any kind of like vice-ish thing.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't play any games, it'd probably be better for you. If you didn't do any drugs, it'd probably be better for you. If you never drank alcohol, it'd be better for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, balance it out.
Well, it all depends on the person, really.
Mhm.
Some people, alcohol could be done recreational, and some people, it just turns into an addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all depends on the person, really.
I think the thing that frustrates me the most about talks about like bad vices, like porn or
Mhm.
drugs, is people never talk about like how to use them responsibly. People take
Yeah.
a zero-sum approach.
Yeah.
So if you walk around, it's like,
Yeah.
do you guys remember Dare?
Mm.
Dare, it was like the anti-drug shit. How old are you guys?
Oh, yeah, Dare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm old. I remember that.
Okay, yeah. It was a big, yeah. I grew up until I was like 25. I thought if I smoked marijuana, my dick would fall off. I like the,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
you
that's
hear the
true.
dumbest shit. Yeah, I wish people just, rather than focusing on like, don't ever do this and don't ever do that, be like,
Mhm.
this is what you should be aware of. And if this is happening, you
Mhm.
probably need to slow down or you
Right.
need to stop. Like, yeah,
Right.
being aware of like signs that something is unhealthy rather than just like thinking some things are always good and some things are always bad, I think would be better. For
True.
people.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
People act like if you don't masturbate to porn for like 2 months, you could fucking levitate or something. It's kind of,
Yeah.
Especially the Christian conservatives.
yeah, sometimes,
That's a
yeah.
sin. You know, God's watching you when you bust your nuts.
And you know they're busted to the craziest shit too, because those guys are always looking at the wildest fucking shit, man.
The
My
conservatives?
God. Oh yeah, they always are. You go to like the Mormon fucking states, you look at that's like the highest instance of gay
Mhm.
porn and shit. I don't know why, but
Hey,
Oh,
do
gay
you
porn?
remember you know who Turning Point USA is, right?
yeah, Charlie Kirk, right?
Yeah, Charlie Kirk. They had a porn star actually attend one of their events.
Well, she went there. She
Yeah.
wasn't invited, but she decided to pay the
bought
money and
tickets.
fly in. They found out who she was and they kicked her out.
I'm like, how did they find out who she was?
Every motherfucker is looking at. Wait a second.
Yeah, and they kicked her out.
I didn't like
That's
that.
the one thing. I don't believe in censorship, and us being conservatives, we don't like censorship, right? And then they do the exact same thing. Same
Well-
thing that goes for Candace.
What's kind of thing with the donors? They got donors.
Yeah,
And there's pictures. Money is the root of all evil. So
yeah.
That's what
But
they
they call out the left when they do it, but they don't call it when they do it.
I think that like the problem is that I think people sometimes take hard stances on stuff, and the stance is not. They think they've got like a really hard stance on a thing, but in reality, there's just some factual thing they disagree with. So like nobody is a free speech absolutist, because as soon as you say like, oh well, should you be able to post child porn? Like it's like, okay, well no, not that.
Right.
Oh, okay. Should you be able to like post somebody's address and tell people to go kill them? Oh, okay, maybe not that. It's like, okay.
Mhm.
So we're not like ultra free speech absolutists. There's some boundaries we have to draw. We just need to decide where to draw the
Mhm.
boundaries. Same thing with like as controversial as they are, like vaccine mandates, right?
Mhm.
Like I don't think anybody's actually opposed to vaccine mandates. If there was a disease that came out that lay dormant in your body and then caused you to die instantly in 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and that had like a 80% mortality rate and infected
Right.
everybody, I think everybody would be like, okay, you got to get
they'll be killing
vaccinated,
each other to get the vaccine.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, right.
But if you've got a disease that like doesn't really affect people that much, it's a cold, and people are like, well, if you don't get this vaccine, you're gonna get fired. It's like, I don't want to do this. Yeah. But people will act like on both sides, like I'm pro-vaccine mandate or anti-vaccine mandate. It's like, well, not
Right.
really. You just disagree about this particular one or the facts
Yeah.
about this thing. Yeah.
That's what it really boiled down to. Because I'm not anti-vaccine, but I was opposed to that vaccine.
Sure.
It just came out too fast. It's like, no, you got to test it. Normally, when a vaccine comes out, they test it for
Well, it's
at
gotta
least a decade.
It's got to keep you from getting sick. It's got to keep you from spreading it.
Yeah, it's got to
I mean,
give
what
you
was your-
immunity.
Yeah, that's what I would think. What was your take on that COVID vaccine?
I think that when people are looking at things like medicine, okay,
Mhm.
here's something that's really important to understand about medicine. If you have a medication and then you've got like not anything happening, okay, it is always better to never take the medicine. All medicine is bad for you.
Everything has a side effect.
Yes. But the problem is people will compare taking the medicine to nothing happening, but you don't take medicine or nothing happens. You're trying to compare the medicine to the disease of whatever it is you're going to get.
Mhm.
So people will look at like a vaccine or a particular, pill or whatever, and they'll say, well, if you have this, it's this side effect and that side effect and that side effect. It's like, okay, well, we're not comparing that to not taking it at all. Let's compare it to if you get the thing it's supposed to prevent. Well, what does that do, right? I think that the challenging part for COVID, and a lot of people don't remember this, is nobody really knew what was going to happen at the time.
Yeah,
right?
it first came.
Yeah, nobody, is this going to be like a 2% mortality thing or 10% mortality thing? Like nobody had an idea. And it was super infectious. This thing spread faster than like anything in the world in terms of like number of people that were impacted because it's a respiratory disease. It's not like you get it and your eyes are bleeding and everybody stays away from you. Like nobody's getting mass Ebola, okay, in the Western world because the motherfucker's walking looking like the Walking Dead, okay? Get this guy the f away from me,
You
okay?
can see him coming.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas if some guy comes up to you and he's got like a sniffle in his nose, this guy might be infecting 30 people. You have no fucking idea. Yeah. So I think that, yeah, I mean, at the time, I could definitely understand the fear. You're trying to stay ahead of the unknown because you don't know exactly how things are going to play out. So in that sense, like, I mean, it's hard to know what side to fall on. Like for this particular virus, even though a lot of people died and there was a lot of congestion in the healthcare system, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But like, there's another world where, where we took the same path and it ended up being something that had like a 25 or 30% mortality rate. We're like, well, fuck, we just like bled off like 50 to 100 million people in this country. And then the worldwide stuff. So yeah, it's hard. Yeah, when you evaluate things, you have to be able to go back and then do it prospectively. Like, well, what did we know at the time? Rather than look back, it's like, okay, well, this is what we know now, and this is what we should have done with what we know now. And it's like, well, nothing, unfortunately, works that way in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just with that vaccine when it first came out, it's like, yeah, it keeps you from getting sick and it keeps you from spreading it. And then I think it first started in Israel. They were the first to like fully vaccinate their population.
Yeah.
And then they were still getting sick. And I was like, wait a minute. Then they changed they moved the goalposts as well. You can still get sick and you can still transmit it, but you're less likely to die from it. I'm like, what am I supposed to believe?
Yeah.
Like they moved the goalposts at the end. And that's like, I don't think that vaccine personally, anecdotally, I don't think it was very effective.
I mean, playing Monday morning quarterback, I think we should have just took care of the elderly, people with comorbidities. But I don't think they should have been forced on anyone. I think it was up to the person's choice. I mean, we give women a right to choose when it comes to pregnancy. Why don't we give them a right to choose when it comes to a vaccine?
Well, for the right to choose for the pregnancy is because she can't make me pregnant. A woman was walking around saying some shit, and all of a sudden people around her were getting pregnant. Then we'd probably have a lot more of a different feeling about it, right? But a pregnancy is like your body, your thing.
Yeah, but
And
that
then
vaccine did not keep you from infecting other people.
Yeah.
So I think
it had the same efficacy of a flu shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, flu shots help. It's not perfect, but I mean, it helps. The initial vaccines were really effective for the first and then the Delta, but then after that, they started to fall off pretty significantly because of how mutated the virus was getting. I think the goal of the vaccine initially, and if you go back and you read all the actual medical literature, it said this, but the public health messaging was messed up. The goal was twofold. One was to prevent you from getting sick, and then the other was hopefully that was the goal. The goal was to prevent you from getting sick. Now, a byproduct of not getting sick is that you hopefully don't spread as much, because you're not getting you're not contracting the virus, and then that's like a side effect that you're looking for. A lot of things a lot of it comes down to just information about diseases that people aren't aware of. So you can have like a virus. Just because you get infected doesn't mean you necessarily get sick. Like a virus and a disease are technically, in the literature, they're two different things, like HIV and AIDS, right? You can have HIV now your whole life and never develop AIDS because of the medical treatment and everything. For COVID, you've got the virus, SARS-CoV-2, right? You can get the virus, but if you've had like a prior infection or if you've got a vaccine, ideally you get the virus and it kind of like, fucks around a little bit, but then it dies before you actually get the disease and you get sick. Then if you're not sick, you're not coughing, you're not spreading as much. But the spreading of the disease is not something that is usually tested for in vaccines. Like even for like polio and all these other vaccines, when you get them, you can still get the virus, but like your immune system will kill it before you actually like develop the full-blown sickness.
I understand your point of view. I think it's I think when it came to
It got
media,
politicized.
it got politicized, and then you have journalists that's a majority of a lot of, I wouldn't say the majority, a lot of the money they were receiving, from ads and things of that nature.
Got a conflict of
It's a
interest.
huge conflict of interest because these people who developed this vaccine made a lot of billionaires. But I can't go back to the empirical research where it actually saved people's lives.
Sure. This is the thing that I wish it would happen. It's so hard. Is that sometimes people will fuck up or say something dumb, but then instead of like critically evaluating what's going on, people will just like jump to the other opinion, and then they don't do as much critical evaluation there, right? Like, let's say I wanted to sell you like TRT, and I come up here and I tell you that creatine causes baldness, right? Which is a common claim of people, right? I imagine you're probably going to look at me like, okay, well, yeah, you're selling this. Of course you want me to think this about, the most studied supplement of all time, and you're going to tell me that it causes baldness or whatever. I don't know what you guys think about that. But I feel like, people will look at the vaccine and they'll go, okay, well, like there are just so many things that bother me. People say, I don't trust the vaccine. It was pushed through too quickly, whatever. But monoclonal antibodies, people loved those. That was an experimental treatment. It never got fully approved. It was way more expensive, but because that was like the more popular treatment, people would shun the vaccines, which I think now in retrospect, I don't know how much you want to go over it, but like they're pretty safe. Like there wasn't the mass death event that everybody thought there was. Like in all the communities where people got vaccinated, they were less likely to go visit the hospital. Like you see more deaths in like communities that weren't vaccinated. And you look at the monoclonal antibodies and those completely fell out. They just weren't that effective. So
you think it was the vaccine was a good thing?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the saddest thing too is that especially, and I feel so crazy because I'm always like the progressive, like far left guy. I am a big capitalist and I appreciate like businesses and everything there. I feel like the sad thing for conservatives is I think the vaccine, in my opinion, like represented like conservatism like almost at its best, because you had Donald Trump, who was a conservative leader, who like did the whole warp speed thing to try to like pre-buy and incentivize these companies. You had our large businesses that were working internationally with like BioNTech in Germany, the manufacturer of the NLPs and I think in Denmark or whatever. Like, so it's capitalism. It's the United States like being a global power. It's the president like trying to incentivize something and push it through. It's like all this research from around the world creating like a vaccine in like record time. I feel like there's a lot of good accomplishments there that as Americans we could have been proud of, but it's
Trump loves the vaccine.
Yeah, of course. Well, he wants to take credit for it because he warp speeded. Yeah, but I feel like because we're so like politically divided, we can't like every single issue that comes out today is political. Like if you go to the gym, it's because you're MAGA conservative. Like that's like a conservative thing now. Or like if a boat crashes into a bridge, it's because some Mossad agent did it to distract from Israel. Or there's a fire in Hawaii in the hottest place in the it's because like Jewish space lasers are trying to drive up property costs for Oprah Winfrey or whatever. Or, it's like Jesus. Yeah, like nothing can happen anymore without it being some crazy conspiracy.
Yeah, personally, I've had like people close to me that was like damaged by that vaccine. Like, my friend's legs turned purple. They look like sweet potatoes. He can't walk. Yeah. And then I knew when I bought this car, right when the vaccine came out, the finance guy, I was doing my paperwork, and he was telling me, he was like warning me, like, don't take that vaccine. I was like, why? It's supposed to be great. He's like, well, my daughter took that vaccine, and the reason why she took the vaccine, she wanted to go to Europe for a vacation. COVID messed up everything, so she went in and had to take the vaccine so she could go. 2 weeks after she took the vaccine, she got a blood clot in her lungs, and she died.
Yeah. And the biggest red flag for me
She's 22 years old.
Yeah, about that vaccine was it was forcing on people who had already contracted the virus, survived it, and they still was making people.
And they were forcing on people who were in great health. We all know. I think, what was it, 80% of the people who died was people over 65, and they had something wrong with them. They already had one foot in the grave.
Well, careful, because when you say something wrong with them, like obesity is a comorbidity of, which is already like 70% of Americans. Yeah.
Like 70% of people, I think it was even higher, maybe even 8%. 80% of the people died from it. It might even been 90% that when they died from COVID, it was they was over 65, or they had one foot in the grave. They were obese. They had heart problems or something, but it was forced on healthy people. And I was like, one of my friends, that girl that died at 22. That's why I think that vaccine was garbage.
Do you know anybody that died of COVID?
Yeah, my family members on my wife's side died.
How many?
3.
Jesus.
Yep, 3.
Well, so when you think of like, we've got vaccine injury, did you know anybody that died of or had a vaccine injury?
I know of 2 people. I didn't know them personally.
Okay.
Well, Mike?
Yeah. I can't count him. You already counted him.
Oh, okay.
But 2 other people,
Yeah. So that's interesting that doesn't factor in sometimes. Like somebody's like, oh yeah, like I knew this guy, or I knew a guy who had a vaccine injury. Like, oh, do you know anybody who died of COVID? And like, yeah, I've got like 3 family members that are like, Jesus.
Yeah, I know 3 people that died.
Yeah, but they were like, the 2 that I know in my family that died, they were big people. They were obese. They were not healthy people.
Sure. But I mean, like, they still,
I
Right,
kind
so
of
They got vaccinated and everything, and he still died.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I look at like the vaccine interest. My friend, he's very young. That person who was at the dealership, she was a healthy young woman. She was forced to take a vaccination, or she couldn't travel. I have a problem with that
Yeah.
person.
Like I think it was a big cover up. Like I remember when COVID first hit, they was cracking the deaths by the hour. I mean, up to date, all across America. You know how many people died in America. Why didn't they track the deaths of the people who's getting vaccinated, who still died from COVID, who took the vaccine? They didn't track that. I remember when Australia first started doing the vaccine with their citizens, they were coming out saying, well, we had 8 people die today, 6 of them are vaccinated. They did that for a couple of days and then they stopped.
Yeah,
What do you think? If it was a cover up, like what? How? Why?
Money.
Like I'm trying to think. Like
Money.
let's say,
Money.
yeah, but like wouldn't it? Doesn't it hurt the economy and everything more to have like lockdowns and vaccines and everything than just?
I think that was a wrong decision. You can't hide from a virus.
Or, well, I'm
Eventually-
saying like it like. Let's like we're talking like all the
Yeah.
so here's something that's always interests me. People say things like Lockheed Martin or Boeing, like
Mhm.
the military industrial complex, they like run the country. Okay, if you only look these companies up, these companies are worth anywhere from like $10 to $100 billion. Okay, decent sized companies. But then I'm thinking like, well, if we're like running the economy, why would the military industrial complex do things that puts the entire economy like on pause that hurts everybody? So like wars or conflict or whatever. Why wouldn't it be the people that own like f***ing Apple and Facebook? Because these companies are worth like Apple alone is worth like every f***ing private military
The
contractor
reason-
combined. Like, wouldn't they be the ones in
the-
control of the economy? Wouldn't it be more like the U.S. is like, I want to go to war with that, and like Lockheed and Boeing and Raytheon, these guys are like, yeah, let's go, and then like Apple is like, we're not doing that. Actually,
Yeah.
f- you, or I'll hire an actual
Yeah.
Haitian death squad to kill you if you.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's a
think-
different dynamic.
Okay.
I think the reason why that information was not allowed to come out, who's going to put that information out there?
Donald Trump.
It's going to be the media. The media is being paid hundreds of millions of dollars to push this vaccine.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
If they're going to come out and criticize the vaccine, they're hurting their advertisers. There's no way Fox News, CNN, left or right, going to come out and criticize that vaccine because you're biting the hand that feeds you.
Yeah.
Even if I post stuff on Instagram or YouTube, I was getting censored. I was getting community guideline strike on YouTube. You were not allowed to criticize that vaccine.
I think
That's why I think it's a cover up.
Yeah,
Why? Or yeah, go ahead.
I believe in capitalism too, but I don't
Mhm.
consider that capitalism. I consider that crony capitalism.
Do you think why wouldn't it be that like other countries would call us out? Like why wouldn't Russia or China be like, we think that vaccine was a giant cover up? Like why wouldn't they say something if it was? Wouldn't it be in their interest to kind of expose us on it?
I would, but we're not on the best of terms. Like we can't even agree on that very same logic that you're using
Mhm.
amongst ourselves here in the United States.
Sure. Well, I'm not
Imagine
saying.
how
I mean,
difficult it would be between us and Russia or other countries.
yeah, I don't mean on good terms. I mean like
Yeah.
as a way to attack us. Like
Mhm.
why wouldn't Putin be like, the United States is clearly corrupt and we can see that because look at the vaccine that they gave their people.
I can only really speak to what our own media. Our
Mhm.
media is here to keep the public apprised of what's going on. I did not see one story, whether it was left wing or right wing, criticize that vaccine.
Yeah.
Nobody spoke out, and it's because that's their biggest advertiser. They were advertising so much, enriching these networks so much, it created 9 billionaires on the back end on the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine how much Fox News, CNN was getting paid.
Yeah.
And then again, like I said, even if I spoke out,
Yeah.
censored. What's that doctor went on Joe Rogan? Censored.
Yeah.
He was
Robert
a doctor.
Malone?
Yeah, censored.
I mean,
You
look
were
at,
not allowed to criticize that vaccine.
look at CNN and look at Fox. We know they have an agenda. They lie to us all the time. We know we probably get maybe an ounce of the truth. They spin everything to fit their narrative. They never like our politicians and our media. They don't even serve us anymore. They serve their own interests.
Do you think it's possible there's maybe people are trying to do their best, but they f- up sometimes?
Yeah.
Or
Definitely.
I think that
But
like I guess the interesting thing for me is just like as a finance guy sometimes like
Mhm.
I just look at the numbers and I just don't feel like in the pharmaceutical world there's just not enough money to control all the media. It's just not. There's just
Oh.
like compared to like our like the tech world, there's so much more money there. And then like when I look at all the vaccines that came out and the mRNA ones, and I'm
Mhm.
thinking like, okay, well let's say these mRNA vaccines came out and there really is a big cover up. Like
Yeah.
why wouldn't like Johnson and Johnson come out and say like, hey, because other companies try to create mRNA vaccines and they failed. Why wouldn't these other capitalist countries or companies in the U.S. be like, hey, those vaccines don't work. That's bullshit. Or like an enemy of the U.S. like Iran or Russia are trying to be like,
If
yeah,
that's
you know,
true,
yeah.
If that's true, it just shows how corrupt America is.
it shows how corrupt
Yeah.
pharmaceutical companies are.
They're so corrupt that they're willing to lose money being non-competitive. In the
Right.
I
next
think
market.
I
Wow.
think they
They
lose
indict it.
money. I think they lose money if the truth comes out. That's why
Yeah.
I don't think the truth comes out.
Yeah. I mean, look how I watched this documentary. It was about how the pharmaceutical company got everybody addicted and doped up on
Fentanyl.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, these pharmaceutical companies, some of the worst evil amongst us, and nobody's willing to call them out for it.
I feel like people call them out. I just feel like I feel like what happens is that the problems are just a bit more complicated than
Yeah.
it seems. Like
Yeah.
even for like drug addictions on like fentanyl or stuff like that. Like if you go to the hospital, like a lot of drug addiction happens because you go to the hospital for a pain problem and then you come out of the hospital and now you end up getting addicted to whatever substance they gave you. But like looking at, I've got doctor friends or whatever, like listening to them talk, you get a patient that will come in and the patient will say, hey, I've got, hypertension. I look at my blood pressure, like, now, people will look at doctors and they'll go, you guys are just here to push pills. You're just going to try to give the guy a pill, send him on his way. Like, fuck you. It's not healthy, blah, blah, blah. But from the doctor's perspective, like, I mean, you guys definitely know this better than the average person. You tell a person, oh, well, you need to eat healthy and exercise. What's the uptake on that? Less than 1%? You get, You get
Just give me a pill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So as a doctor, like, you're there to treat whatever the illness is. And oftentimes as a doctor, your only weapon is medication. Now, if you've ever been to a doctor office before, they always tell you on the way out, they'll always say, oh yeah, make sure that you continue to eat healthy and exercise, but nobody actually fucking does it.
Right.
And then, so now you're a physician and now you're in this fucked spot where it's like, okay, well, this guy came in, he's hypertensive. I can't send him out of the office without prescribing something because now if he has a heart attack, he's going to come back and sue me for not doing anything. So then you give him a pill and then this guy goes off and then, he gets fatter and fatter. His family complains and then he dies. And now his kids are online saying like, my dad had all these issues with obesity and all the doctor did was give him a pill and then send him his way and wait until he died. And that's bullshit. And I was like, well, what the are you supposed to do as a doctor? Like me,
Yeah, I get that.
I think there are bad actors. I'm sure there definitely are. Like there have been drugs that have been okayed. I always fucking forget it. There was one that was okayed in Europe that didn't get okayed in the US. Was it formaldehyde? Where like babies were being born like fucked up or whatever. So like bad shit happens. And a company, if you've worked for any corporate company, they will try to fuck you if they can do it.
Alex Jones called out the gay frogs.
Sure, he did. Yeah.
Nobody believed him.
Those frogs were turning. They were fucking gay. Now I don't know if it was gay like bisexual gay or gay like gay. I don't know. But yeah.
Hey, I will switch gears. Trans rights.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Trans rights.
Yeah,
Trans rights. What trans rights means is that if you